ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Verse 41. Ahantvad सत्वं कूटस्थेतेन किं तव स्वयं शब्दार्थ एवैषः कूटस्थ इति मे भवेत्. So Vidyaranya discusses the mechanism of adhyasa. So Kutastha is adhishthanam and Jiva Ahankara is adhyasa. Kutastha is the Chit Swarupam, Chidrupam, and Jiva is a Chidabhasa. And instead of using Kutastha, Chit, Chidabhasa, he wants to use appropriate pronouns. And for that, Swayam, he uses pronoun Swayam, corresponds to Kutastha. And he uses Aham pronoun, correspond to Chidabhasa. So, and you can take even you, he, she, it, etc. All of them refer to Chidabhasa. Because they are mutually exclusive and different, they are limited also. And so, so they are all Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is limited. Anything which is mutually excluding is limited. And so, I cannot include you and you cannot include he, etc. And therefore, definitely out of two, Chit and Chidabhasa, it must be Chidabhasa. Because they are mutually excluding. Mutually excluding means each one is limited. And therefore, I, you, he, etc. all this refer to Chidabhasa. And word self refers to Kutastha because it inheres in everyone. Therefore, it must be the Chit. And therefore, Chaitanyam, etc. or Kutastha. And this because this self, self which is adhishthanam can go along with everything. I, you, he, she, it, etc. We can take it as a Chaitanyam or Kutastha. So Swayam pronoun indicates Kutastha. Aham, I, etc. indicates Chidabhasa. Adhishthanam, Adhyasa. Adhishthanam which pervades everything, it's called Adhishthanam. Definition of Adhishthanam is which inheres everything, which pervades everything, is called Adhishthanam. And what is other than that will be definitely a superimposition. So, definitely any name and form is a Adhyasa, superimposition. Anyway, so he gave an example that I myself referred, I myself am doing this work, etc. I myself did this work. Then he himself did this work. You yourself did this work. In all of this word self, inheres in I, you, he, etc. in all Purushas, in all persons basically, first person, second person, third person. And so, it is Adhisthana Chaitanyam. So, self indicates Adhisthana Chaitanyam. And I, you, he, they are mutually excluding and therefore that indicates an Adhyasa. Self is Adhishthanam and I, you, he, etc. is Adhyasa. And so Adhisthana Chaitanyam is Adhishthanam is Kutastha Chaitanyam and I, you, he, etc. is basically Chidabhasa, and that is how or Jiva or Ahankara, etc. So we should remember that even though we enumerate separately Chidabhasa and Chit, I and Swayam, I and the self, myself, yourself, etc. Well, in our experience, they are basically non-separate. You enumerate separately, that's one thing. But you, in your experience, they are non-separate. In all superimpositions, Adhisthana, Adhyasa, etc. are experienced as one unit. And so when you say this is snake, well, Adhisthana, Adhyasa, etc. are experienced as one unit only. And that is how Adhyasa is defined as a Satya Anruta Mithunikaranam. By mixing, they have become one. One is Satyam, and one is basically Mithya, and they are mixed up together. And in your experience, it is experienced as a one thing alone. So when this is snake, well, that's an Adhyasa. But there, this is, which is a Satyamsha, and this snake, which is a Mithyamsha, are experienced as one. And therefore, well, you can enumerate separately that Swayam indicates, Adhisthana Chaitanyam, I, you, etc. indicates Adhyasa. Well, you enumerate separately Chidabhasa and Chit, Adhyasa and Adhisthana. That's okay. You enumerate separately, but in your experience, it is a one thing alone. And that's how Bhashyakara's definition of a Adhyasa is a versatile definition. So, Satya Anruta Mithunikaranam. Mithunikaranam, mixing up. Mixing up means they are experienced as a one entity. So, Adhisthana, Adhyasa are experienced as one unit. We have no experience of as separate entities. And this is called Swayam Aham Mithunikaranam, right? Swayam Aham Mithunikaranam. Swayam Kutastha, Aham Chidabhasa. And therefore, well, or Adhisthana, Adhyasa, Mithunikaranam. Swayam Aham Mithunikaranam. And Vidyaranya discussed all this. You can see all the previous verses which we have seen in few days. You will find that he has not used word Kutastha. He has used the word Swayam. So Swayam is used in place of Kutastha. Naturally, a listener like you is surprised that we started the chapter, with Kutastha Deepa Prakarana. And therefore, well, you should discuss all regarding Kutastha. And he has taken a vow also that I will talk about Kutastha, etc. Instead, he is using the word Swayam. So that's how a listener, well, he expresses his surprise and asks also. Ahantvat Sattvam Vidyatam. Right? In verse number 41. Ahantvat Sattvam. Sattvam, selfhood. Vidyatam. Let it be separate. From what? Ahantvat. Ahantvat. Ramat. Fifth case. Ahantvat. Let it be separate. The selfhood, let it be separate from I-ness, etc. So I and the self, you are saying Adhyasa and Adhisthana, let it be separate. One is Mithya, one is Satyam. Well, that's okay. That's fine. Kutasthe tena kim tava. Well, what happened to Kutastha? What happened to your Kutastha? Because you have made a chapter. What happened to your Kutastha? You are all talking about Swayam and Aham and all. What happened to that Kutastha? Why are you not discussing? Vidyaranya smilingly answers. Well, Swatah Shabdartha eva Kutastha. Swayam Shabdartha eva Kutastha. Not Swatah, Swayam Shabdartha. Swayam Shabdasya Artha Kutastha. Shabdartha means Shabdasya Artha. Swayam iti Shabdah Tasya Artha Swayam Shabdartha. So, Swayam, well, the Swam or Swayam, well, they are all synonyms. And well, he says Swayam, so word which I have, the word Swayam which I have used is in the sense of Kutastha only. Iti me bhavet. This is my proposition, and this is in your advantage, he says. By replacing word Kutastha by Swayam, I mean I am doing in interest of the person who is listening to this Pancadasi. So that's what he says. Let's go to verse number 42. Anyatvavarakam swatvam iti chedanyavaranam kutasthasya atmatam vaktuhu ishtameva hi tad bhavet. So here Purapakshi raises a doubt. Purapakshi does not allow Vidyaranya to move at all. Like, in some temples, this chariot pullers, they never allow some procession, and so then chariot also will be in a procession, and there will be a chariot pullers. They will not allow any other people to move. Same way, this our Purupakshi does not allow this Vidyaranya to move ahead, and so he is raising another doubt now. We have solved everything. That Swayam is Kutastha, everything we have solved. Even without using word Kutastha, he has given a complete understanding of Kutastha, right? By using word Swayam. What inheres, what pervades, what is Satyam is all Kutastha. That's all Chaitanya. But wait a minute. You were yesterday saying Kutastha is a Brahman. And then why conveniently you have said Kutastha is equal to Brahman. How can you say that? Don't worry. It is coming in this chapter, okay? So, even though Kutastha and Brahman are synonymous, then you can ask me why you are using word Kutastha and confuses us. So, I am not trying to confuse you. Kutastha is Brahman. Still word Kutastha is used with respect to an individual, etc. Well, we will discuss that. That is going to come. So, but I am replacing Kutastha and Brahman, because what is all pervading, what is Satyam and what is consciousness is all, whether I say Kutastha or Brahman, right, you can understand very well. So by word Swayam we have derived what we can understand by the word Kutastha. And anyway, let's keep a break there. I will come back again. Anyway, so here Purupakshi is asking, in which dictionary word Swayam means Kutastha? Please show one dictionary. Please show one dictionary in which the word Swayam has a meaning called Kutastha, changeless and consciousness, right? Kutastha means Kutavattishtati, changeless consciousness. Show us in which dictionary. Oxford dictionary, that dictionary, this dictionary, in which dictionary that meaning is there. And so dictionary tells Swayam is equal to self. I have seen. So he is telling. Dictionary tells word Swayam is self. And self means what? Self means what? Which excludes any other meaning other than the self. Please understand this. Which excludes, self means which excludes any other meaning other than self, means non-self. So I'll tell you, when you say this is my own pen, own means what? Belongs to self, right? So it does not belong to anyone else. So same way Swayam is equal to self means which excludes non-self, right? Which excludes non-self. So this is my own seat. It has two meaning actually. So when you say this is my own seat, well, direct meaning is what? That this seat belongs to me, right? In classes generally it happens. People want to sit at one place and they don't. And if you are a newcomer and you sit in that place, that person will come and tell you this much. He won't say you get up. He says this is my seat or my own seat. Means basically he wants to convey the direct meaning of this sentence. This is my own seat. The direct meaning means this belongs to me. And the implied meaning is you get up and go. That's all it means. So implied meaning is that. Anyway, so that, but even in the word own, there is we exclude which does not belong to the self, right? By using word own means what? Belongs to me, belongs to the self. Same way the word Swayam is equal to self, it indicates, the meaning of that Swayam indicates that it excludes non-self. What is not self cannot be covered in the meaning of the word Swayam. That's for sure. Anyway, so how dare you say that? This is a lot of daring going on right now, right, in the United States. So I am also using word this dare. How dare you say that word Swayam means Kutastha? Anyatva varakam swatvam. Anyatva varakam. Varakam. Varayati iti varakah. Pachati iti pachakah. Tarayati iti tarakah. Right? We say like that. So I mean this is how it is. So ka indicates, well, it's an agent. So varayati, to exclude. Varayati iti varakah, excluder. So anyatva varakam swatvam. So word swayam, basically swatvam is the selfhood, well, is an excluder of anyatvam, excluder of non-self. So and revealer of self also implies that it excludes non-self. So swatvam anyatva varakam, revealing the self, excluding the non-self. Iti means this is the meaning. So anyatva varakam swatvam. Well, but it does not mean kutastha. Purvapakshi is asking. Self, definitely, swayam means self, and it implies that it excludes non-self. But where is kutastha in that? You are saying swayam means kutastha, where is it? Iti chet. So we are saying now that if Purvapakshi, if you are saying like this, if such a question is raised by you, well, we are very happy. We are blessing you. Why? Vidyaranya says, well, he is asking, when word swayam is revealer of self, excluding non-self, what is left out? What is left out? Swayam is equal to self. Correct. Forget kutastha. Forget. And exclude non-self. And you exclude. What is non-self, you exclude. Then what is left out is the meaning of the word swayam? Yeah. What is non-self, which you exclude? What is that? So start. Non-self means anatma. Start doing that. So take the individual and total. Like gross body, gross world. Both are non-self. You can take even just gross world, but then body we have a I sense, selfhood. So let us remove it. So gross body, gross world. Sthula sharira, sthula prapancha. Anatma. Exclude. Gone. Then sukshma sharira, sukshma prapancha. Anatma. Exclude. And then karana sharira, karana prapancha. Maya, etc. Exclude. What is left out? What is left out? Okay, when shariras are negated, mediums are negated, whether the medium is a big medium or a small medium, either a body or either a prapancha, when that is negated, what else is negated? Reflecting consciousness also is negated. With reflecting medium doesn't remain. They are non-self. Then reflection itself also is negated. Right? So Chidabhasas are also negated. Chidabhasas also are negated as non-self. When Chidabhasas are gone, what has gone? First person, second person, third person has gone. Okay? That's what I have explained you. So first person, second person, I, you, it, she, etc. Everything gone. They all go away from me. And then when Sharira are negated, like let's take an example of Sushupti, deep sleep state. When Sharira has gone in Sushupti, all Chidabhasas are also negated. No one can say I asleep right now, right? No one can say I asleep. The very I sense also go away. You sense go away. He sense go away. She-ness goes away. Everything goes away when Sushupti. Anyway, so anything anyatva varakam, anything anyam, anything non-self is negated. And here negation does not indicate a destruction. Negation you know very well. Negation in Vedanta means what you negate really don't exist. That's how you negate. What you negate really don't exist. That's how you negate. That is called negation. You don't destroy anything. Right? You don't destroy anything. So let it be there. But it is really not there. That's all. Let it be there. But let it be there means it is an existence. But it is really not there. Means let it be an apparently existing thing. Let it be there. So we don't destroy. Anyatvam, non-self, we are not destroying. You can't destroy also. You can't destroy universe. Sthula prapancha. Right? Gross world, you can't destroy. You can't destroy subtle world. We can't destroy even one virus. There is a question of destroying entire subtle world. You can't destroy even one. A whole humanity is so afraid, running here and there, everywhere, trying to protect. Such a huge fellow, 180 pounds, very hefty fellow, 7 feet height, and he is afraid of the tiny creature, which really cannot even define as a sentient being. Insentient, and that too tiny. It becomes a sentient somehow. It is not an insentient, it is not a sentient. ये क्या है? This is all mithya. Such a virus, basically, we are all afraid of right now. Whole world is running here and there or remain in the home. For what? Anyway, I don't want to drive you too much. But what I am saying is, when mediums are negated, prapancha negated, body is negated, the chidavasas are negated. Chidavasas are negated means all this purusha, first person, second person, third person, everything is negated. All chidavasas are negated. Then, well, what remains? When chidavasas are negated, what remains? When sun reflection is negated, reflection of sun is negated, right? Then what remains? What remains? Earlier there were two. Because of the medium, there was a sun and there was a reflection of the sun. When medium is destroyed, reflection also is destroyed. What is left over? Just chit. And therefore, Swayam is equal to self is equal to Chaitanya. And now this consciousness which is left over is changing or non-changing? Please answer. Is changing or non-changing? See, if Chidabhasa is there, it is changing. In fact, Chidabhasa comes and goes. That itself is a big change. Yeah. And Chidabhasa will vary, because the medium is all the time varying. Right? Body, gross body, constantly changing. Mind, constantly changing. And therefore, reflection also appears changing. And that is how every individual says, I am changing. I was young and now I am old. Right? He says, constantly changing. And so as the mind changes, he says he is changing. As the body is changing, different from the different states, balyadishu vijagradadishu tatha. So he says, I am changing. I was a waker, now I am a dreamer, etc. Or I went to deep sleep, etc. Now I am waking, now I am a waker. So constantly changing. So Chidabhasa is constantly changing. But that is negated. Now it is non-self. So what is left over, the Chit, consciousness, which is a witness of all the states, is non-changing. And therefore, that non-changing consciousness, which is a meaning of the word Swayam, is Kutastha. Kutastha means non-changing. Kutavat tishtati, which is non-changing. Therefore, word Swayam indicates that whatever is non-self should be excluded. Correct. And so we have excluded the mediums as a non-self. We have excluded the reflections, Chidabhasa, as a non-self. So we have excluded all the persons, I, you, he, she, all, negated. So what is left over is just consciousness. And that consciousness does not undergo change, and therefore it is Kutastha. And therefore word Swayam is equal to Kutastha. Word Swayam means self, but the self means Kutastha. That's how it has been explained. So this is how we discuss this. This is how we understand it. So Anyavaranam, so self alone remains, which is Asanga Chaitanya, which is, and that's our experience also in Sushupti. Well, the self remains, which is non-changing actually, and other than that, the Chidabhasa and the bodies, etc., the identification with them goes away. They are not destroyed. You basically, they resolve into you. Please understand that. Anything mithya resolves into Satyam. appears in between, resolves into Satyam. Right? And therefore all the bodies, when I say Sushupti, bodies are not there. Definitely a person who is a good listener will ask a question. Where will they go? Where they go? If they live behind a consciousness or Atma or whatever and go somewhere, well, it's an independent entity. Right? It's an independent entity. And therefore Atma, Anatma are two things. At the time of sleep, well, Anatma lives. It's nothing like that. It's mithya thing which was non-separate, which is non-separate, which will be non-separate from the Satyam. Well, in a certain state that resolves. That's how it is. That's how we call resolution. That's how Sushupti is a layaha, and that one at the level of a cosmos, we say it is pralaya. There also the same thing. From consciousness alone, from Sat alone, everything comes and it resolves at the time of, at the time of resolution, at the time of pralaya, everything resolves into that. It cannot be independent, and therefore definitely all the bodies etc. resolve, mind etc. all resolve. But Swamiji, it resolves into Karana Sharira. Yeah, it resolves into Karana. Sushupti means it doesn't resolve into Atma. It resolves into Karana Sharira. And at the level of cosmos, everything has come from the Maya, and therefore everything resolves into Maya. That's the Upadan Karan. Swamiji, I am correcting you that everything resolves not into Atma, everything resolves into Upadana Karan. Correct. That's correct. And I should I should make a correction. Correct. But then Upadana Karan is again non-separate from Atma. Even you call Maya, or even you call here Karana Shariram. The Karana Shariram is, the very existence of Karana Shariram is due to consciousness. But that how Karana Shariram is, since how long Karana Shariram is non-separate from Atma? From how long this Maya is non-separate from Atma? This is Anadi. Okay? This is Anadi. So consciousness is Anadi and this Maya is Anadi. Consciousness is Anadi and Avidya also is Anadi. Karana Shariram is Anadi, and therefore Jiva is Anadi. Jiva is Anadi. Ishvara is Anadi. With Maya Upadhi, same consciousness is Anadi. With Avidya Upadhi, same consciousness is Anadi. Ishvara and Jiva both are Anadi. Anyway, and because from this Karana Shariram, which is Karanam, where all these vasanas and karmas and everything sanchita is there, and therefore a subtle body and gross body appear. That's okay. So gross body, subtle body resolve into Karana Shariram. If you want to make it that way, don't worry. But that Karana Shariram, the Vidya Upadhi also is non-separate from the consciousness, and therefore we can say, and it resolves, everything resolves into consciousness. But how dare you say, okay, good daring. I have this daring, today when I woke up this word with a daring, anyway, so this daring business. Anyway, what I'm saying is, how dare you say that everything resolves into consciousness? You can't talk about all these things on your own, yeah. But if Upanishad talks, then what? Yeah, but then say where it is said, in Chandogya. Right? Sata somya tada sampanno bhavati, swam apito bhavati, swapiti iti nama, etc. Sata somya, sadrupena bhavati, sampanno bhavati. Everything resolves into Sat. In Chandogya, the Brahman is called Sat, you know very well. And Sata somya, sadrupena, that's a itham bhute tritiya, Sata. Sata is a itham bhute tritiya, and that is, means in the form of Sat. This person, at the time of sleep, is just Sat. Means what? All the bodies, the Chidabhasa, the individuality, everything resolves into Sat. Cannot be destroyed, cannot go anywhere, is not independent also, and therefore definitely it is in the form of Sat. Means what? Everything. Like the pot is in the form of clay. That's how it is. Pot cannot live behind the clay and go away. So pot resolves into the clay itself. This is an example, gross example. But here we should understand everything is in the form of Sat. Anyway, so definitely, so this is said, and so Anya Varanam Ishtameva, and therefore negation of the non-self for arriving at the meaning of the word Swayam, well, it is good. I mean, negation of everything, including Chidabhasa, is Ishtam, is desirable only. So, Eva, Ishtam means desirable, Eva means only. So, Anya Varanam, excluding, Varanam is excluding, exclusion, Anyam, non-self. Exclusion of non-self means all the mediums and the Chidabhasa, all the bodies, Prapancha and the Chidabhasa, well, which is Anatma, exclusion of that non-self for arriving at the meaning of the word Swayam as Kutastha is desirable. Ishtam eva is desirable. So Kutastha, it is desirable, is desirable only. For what purpose? Kutasthasya atmatam bodhum, to reveal Kutastha as the ultimate reminder, as a chit. Well, Kutastha requires a negation of everything else, and therefore, for that purpose, Bhaktu, for a teacher, he wants to reveal Kutastha as the self, and so the negation of everything else by using word Swayam by the teacher or by the Vidyaranya is desirable only. So this is the meaning. Let's go to verse 43. Swayam atmeti paryayau tena loke tayos saha prayogo nastyata svatvam atmatvam chanyavarakam. Now he extends and reinforces his conclusion that word Swayam refers to Kutastha Atma. By the way, this negation, I have told you that negation is in form of a negating a notion that is real. Please understand, negation is in Vedanta is negation of the notion that this is real. That's all. Like Jiva is real. I am individual, I am a Jiva, that's a reality. That notion is negated. Negation of a Jiva, negation of a Chidabhasa, including the medium, is nothing but the negation of the notion of the reality that I, the Jiva, is real. That's all. Please understand this. And that is how we say the thought need not be negated. Thought need not be negated, thought need not be removed. You should remove the thought that this is real, or I, the Jiva, is real, I, the individual, is real. That thought should be removed, not the thought should be removed. Please understand, you should not remove the thought. Going to Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, removing thought. Because you said, the remainder, everything should be negated, and the remainder is that consciousness which is Kutastha, etc. Yeah, but by negating this is remain. And negation means not by going to Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. Negation is in form of a removing the notion of reality. That's all. And therefore, and that is how Mithya is like this. It will remain, but from your head, the reality has gone and it has become Mithya. So sunrise is negated. Is negated means, cannot be destroyed, cannot be eliminated. Yoga talks about elimination of everything. We don't talk about elimination. We always talk about a cognitive change. One thing was understood as a real is understood as Mithya. That is negation. And therefore you thought, I am individual, and etc. I'm Jiva, etc. should be negated. And then what is left over is this Kutastha. Therefore, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is required. We don't require anything. You don't require to remove the thought. Even the very I also may remain later, but as a Mithya. You remove the notion, that thought is required to remove the notion of the reality that I am Jiva. That is essential. And therefore, Vedanta and Yoga are totally opposite thing. One wants to eliminate because they think that is real. If you think it is real, you have to eliminate. If you understand that it is not real, it is Mithya, then let it be there. And therefore, and both definitely are ignorant people. one who wants to go on the yoga marga or the one who wants to go on this gaining knowledge of the self. Both are ignorant. Both have the notion that everything is real. The I, the jiva is real, etc. World is real, everything. Ishvara is also real. Ishvaratvam is real, etc. I am separate from Ishvara, everything. So they're all notion. So that notion has to be removed. And in order to remove the notion which is born of ignorance, you need a knowledge. A knowledge is in the form of a vritti, and therefore vritti should not be removed. The thought should not be removed. The yoga says that you remove the thought. Remove the thought. And because thought pertaining to the world, thought pertaining to yourself. Well, and that all is real. So remove the thought, and that reality also will go. It won't go, basically. Therefore, you require a thought. You require mind. And therefore, it is entirely chitta vritti nirodha. So it's an elimination. Nirodha means elimination of chitta vritti. Elimination of every thought. And everything goes away. When the thought itself won't remain, well, where is the question of an individuality or where is the question of a world? And what is left over is this Purusha, remainder. We don't require that kind of a thing. We require thought. And thought pertaining to basically the self, which is the reality of everything, which is the adhishthanam of everything, and definitely should be understood that jiva is mithya. That's a negation. Anyway, now in verse number 43 he says, so we have read it, yeah. So he extends and reinforces his conclusion that word Swayam refers to this Kutastha Atma. And Vidyaranya gives a further proof, very beautiful. He gives a further proof why Swayam is Kutastha. Why word Swayam is equal to Kutastha. He is giving further proof. He says that Kutastha Atma and or Kutastha and the Swayam are identical, so because that's how they don't occur simultaneously. I mean, in a one sentence, they don't occur together. If it occurs simultaneously, well, they are not synonymous. I'll give you an example. Like, see the clock and watch. What is this? What are you talking? See the clock and watch. Right? So, in one sentence, when I use word see and watch, which are synonyms, have you found anywhere? We find it is awkward. So if there are synonyms, then in a given sentence, two words cannot be there. Synonym, the words which are in synonym, well, cannot be together in a one sentence. They can be there in a separate sentence. See the watch, see the clock, and watch the clock, or watch the time, etc. That's okay. That's okay. So separate sentences are there, then it's a different thing. But in a given sentence, two synonym words which are identical, two words which are identical cannot be used. It creates a confusion. And so Swayam and Kutastha, well, definitely they are synonyms, and therefore they cannot be used together. So in a separate sentences you can use. So definitely, like on railway stations, in India especially, and there are people who sell the soft drinks, etc. And they always move on that platform. They say also, Thanda cold drink, Thanda cold drink, Thanda cold drink, Thanda cold drink. Now the word Thanda and the cold, well, they can't go together. Anyway, they are saying that's a different thing, because cold drink, that is one word it has been taken, and then again they use Thanda. Anyway, so but normally we don't use, because they are paryaya. Vidyaranya says paryaya. They are words. Swayam and Atma, Swayam and Kutastha are not used together because they are one and the same. Right? Swayam one and the same. So Swayam is equal to Atma, and therefore Swayam and Atma or Swayam and Kutastha cannot be used together. Swayam Atma iti paryaya. The both are synonymous. Bhavatah, we have to supply. Tena, because of that, tayoho. So definitely both these words, saha prayogaha nasti. Both these words cannot be used together. And and that's how we don't use also. We never use. I myself did this work. You won't find that I myself, Atma did this work. Atma, of course, is a Sanskrit word, and for that translation alone is self, right? Yeah, therefore it's identical. Anyway, so you won't use together. And therefore, same way, atah, therefore, even this chidabhasa also, and the paryaya for that, the pronoun for that is I. So I and chidabhasa are also basically synonymous. And swayam and kutastha, or swayam and atma, or swayam and chit, they are synonyms. So swatvam, atmatvam, anyavarakam bhavati. Swatvam, the selfhood, atmatvam, etc. Anyavarakam bhavati. Both these words, swayam and atma, removes any other meaning of the word. Anyavarakam, definitely it excludes any other meaning. Both are synonyms. Word 44. Verse 44. Gatasvayam na janati ityevam sattvam gatadishu achaitaneshu drishtam chet drishyatam atma sattvatah. Purapakshi has a tremendous capacity, and he is arguing against this Vidyaranya, and very brilliant also. Sometimes he asks something really, but this question is really wonderful question. It brings out a very good principle of Vedanta which many Vedantins even don't know. For years together this question remains. And thanks to Purupakshi, he is bringing out this in a form of a question, that doubt. What's the question? Purupakshi says, I am willing to accept. Self is equal to Atma is equal to Kutastha, Brahman, whatever you want to say. I am willing to accept. Word self refers to Kutastha Chaitanyam. I don't have any doubt. And that Kutastha Chaitanyam pervades all Purushas, means first person, second person, third person. That Kutastha Chaitanyam pervades I, you, he, she, it. I understand. But word self we use with inert objects also. You say Chaitanyam, consciousness, right? You say self means Kutastha, changeless consciousness. Is it correct? Yeah, it is correct. But then word Swayam, self, is used with inert objects also. Gataha Swayam na janati. Pot does not know by itself. Right? That sentence looks very correct. Gataha Swayam na janati. So pot does not know by itself. River flows by itself. You say also. River flows by itself. You don't require pump, etc. So river flows by itself. Pot does not know itself. By itself, forget about that by. It's my mistake. Pot does not know itself. River flows itself. So itself means what? Swayam. So then that Swayam goes with your river. Swayam goes with the pot. And you say Swayam means Kutastha consciousness. Changeless consciousness. How a consciousness can go with these inert objects? And that you say it pervades all Purusha. So it pervades it also. Pot means it. Right? You should have asked me question yesterday, but you did not ask. Anyway. So no problem. Consciousness pervades first person, no problem. Consciousness pervades second person, you, no problem. Because when I say you, definitely that must be a conscious being. I cannot say table you. So consciousness pervades I, first person, consciousness pervades second person, correct? Consciousness pervades third person, he, she, fine. Consciousness pervades third person, it. It's inert object. How can consciousness pervade inert object? You say Swayam pervades all, inheres all, adhishthanam of all persons, first, second, third, everything. And Swayam word is used also. That's how you say itself. Pot does not know itself, river flows itself, etc., etc. So word self means Kutastha, so he is making a mockery of us. Word self, you said, and our experience that word self is used in all the sentences, in first person, second person, third person, anyway. And therefore, the word kutastha, swayam is kutastha, and that is consciousness, should pervade both inert and sentient things. Because word swayam goes with everything. And therefore, pot does not know itself. I did work myself. So everywhere that self goes with inert and insentient and sentient both. And therefore, swayam is equal to kutastha is equal to consciousness should pervade sentient, insentient both. And therefore, I am ready to accept swayam is equal to kutastha. You argued so much. I understand that. But what about this now? Means, if swayam is equal to kutastha is consciousness pervades, it should pervade river and pot also. And if it pervades river and pot, consciousness pervades any name and form should be sentient. You say consciousness pervades this body. And so this body is conscious. So consciousness pervades a body, river body. And therefore river should be sentient. Like this body is sentient, that river also should be sentient. Consciousness pervades pot. The pot should be sentient. So as you lift the pot should immediately give a slap to you. The way teacher handles the pot, sometimes they make a mockery also. In this pot, small pot, Puja Swami used to make a fun of that also. Small pot, and then he brings out another pot which is little bigger. Then he brings out from under the table, he brings out another pot which is still little bigger. And then makes a big story. Big story. That big pot has this superiority complex and this inferiority. And all stories, he used to make big stories. What about this? Everything should be sentient. First, second, third person. Whatever you indicate should be sentient. It's not so. So anyway, first 1.5 lines is Purvapaksha. He says, Gataha swayam na janati ittevam swatvam gatadishu achetaneshu drashtam. Till that chet. Whenever chet comes, you should understand Purvapaksha is over. Chet means if it is so, or if it is told by you like this, or if you have such and such doubt, then drashyata, let that expression be there. Let that expression be there. Anyway, so iti evam, if this is a sentence, gatadishu achetaneshu swatvam drashtam. Let gatadishu achetaneshu swatvam, selfhood, word self, etc., itself, etc., you are using with what? With gatadishu, with pot, etc., which are what? Achetanam, insentient. Drashtam, we are seeing that the expression self, chaitanyam or kutastha is used along with the inert objects also, but we don't see them sentient. Chet, if you have such a question, Vidyaranya answers in 2 parts. The first part is, he says drashyata. He said, let that expression, self, go along with the inert objects, no problem, nothing to worry about. Atma sattvataha. So here tas pratyaya is there, it is in the sense of a cause. He is giving an answer. He is arguing against that doubt. Atma sattvataha, because kutastha chaitanyam is present in inert objects also. So if chaitanya prapancha, the sentient world, is pervaded by kutastha chaitanyam, because chaitanya prapancha is pervaded by kutastha, means is chaitanam, achetana prapancha also should be pervaded by kutastha, that is chaitanam, consciousness. How it is so? So this is a question, and Vidyaranya answers. He makes it very clear. Kutastha Chaitanyam is not responsible for sentiency or insentiency. That's the principle of Vedanta. Kutastha Chaitanyam is not responsible for sentiency and insentiency. Why? If Kutastha Chaitanyam is responsible, then it should exist in Chaitanya Prapancha only, in sentient beings also, in sentient world only. So basic Kutastha Chaitanyam is responsible for the sentiency, then it should be confined to the sentient world only. Well, and then that Kutastha Chaitanyam cannot be called all-pervading, because it lives behind insentient world. So then like maleness feature exists in males, right? Humanness feature exists in humans. And by saying humanness, maleness, etc., we are creating a division from woman. When I say maleness or manness, whatever. Pumstvam. In Sanskrit they call pumstvam. Well, etc. So then definitely you are dividing. And same way, sentient, insentient, that division is there. And consciousness is responsible for sentiency, then it will confine to the sentient world only, not to insentient. In that case, Kutastham cannot be all-pervading. That's what we want to say. And therefore, but Kutastham is all-pervading, that is Brahman, etc. And then therefore it should pervade insentient world also. Then consciousness Kutastha cannot be responsible for sentiency. Something else is responsible, we are arriving it. That's all I mean. So it pervades all the Purusha. First person, second person, third person, and means all the entire world, which can be divided into sentient and insentient. Kutastha pervades all. So he says, Chetana, Achetana, Bida. Bida means this division, categorization. Chetana, Achetanam, sentient, insentient. In other words, you can say Bhokta and Bhogyam. Other way of Bhokta means sentient, Bhogyam means insentient. So that kind of a division called sentient and insentient is not caused by Kutastha Chaitanya. Kutastha Chaitanyam pervading a part of the world, making it sentient, and does not pervade another part of the world and remain insentient. That's not so. So Kutastha Chaitanyam is not responsible for the division of Chetanam, Achetanam. So Kutastha Atmakrita na bhavati. Kutastha Atmakrita na bhavati means it is not caused. Kritam means here caused. Kutastha Atmakrita. Kutastha, which is an Atma, this kind of a Bida, this kind of a division between Chaitanya and Chaitanya is not caused by this Kutastha Chaitanya. Since this is so, you can understand that Kutastha pervades even Ajnanam also, right? So, that's how, because Kutastha is isness or consciousness. Kutastha pervades Shunyam also. Therefore, where you say also, there is nothing. So, isness pervades even nothingness also. But wait a minute. Isness pervades. You were talking about consciousness. Now you have come down to isness? Yeah. Because there is nothing means what? Nothing is. Okay, fine. Nothing is equal to nothing, nothing consciousness is. Nothing is equal to nothing consciousness is. Like pot is. Means what? You have to say pot consciousness is. So if I write pot is or if I write pot consciousness is, what is wrong? Both are same. So consciousness is implied. Understand that. Consciousness is implied. Sometimes we feel that is okay. But what about consciousness? It is implied. So even nothingness, that shunyam also is pervaded by consciousness. What I am saying is, not just inert world, even ignorance and non-existence also is pervaded by consciousness or existence, either. So total darkness is pervaded by Kutastha Chaitanya. So definitely Kutastha Chaitanya is not responsible for sentiency. Okay. What will be the consequence if you say like that, So just as, like what happens if consciousness pervades both the types of objects, inert objects and these are sentient and insentient, both. And consciousness is responsible for sentiency, then it is a big problem. Like when I say I stand on my legs and therefore now my legs are paining, right? Then table also stands, microphone also stands, right? That's how we use word. Where is the stand of microphone? So stand. So microphone also stands for a long time. And we say table has a 4 legs. So then if 2 legs I have, and I have a lot of pain, and then table has a 4 legs, then table must be screaming. It is standing 24/7. Multiply 365, multiply 40 years or whatever it may be. And this microphone also all the time stand. They bring it near to the Swami and then they push aside like this. Then again they bring like this and they, all the time microphone is standing. Then microphone also may say that I am tired now. My legs are paining. But it doesn't say. And so if the Kutastha pervades microphone, if Kutastha pervades Shunyam, Kutastha pervades Ajnanam, then Kutastha pervades total this darkness, pitch darkness. Kutastha pervades everything. Then Kutastha pervades table. Kutastha pervades this microphone also. And then sentiency, if it is there, then definitely, they cannot stand. They cannot stand for a long. I cannot stand for a long because there is a sentiency. But microphone can stand for a long time because it doesn't have a sentiency. It doesn't have a sentiency. And therefore, Kutastha pervades and is responsible for sentiency, then this thing will occur. This kind of problem will occur, but it doesn't occur. And therefore, that is not responsible for sentiency. Okay, what is responsible? Swamiji, prana is responsible. Vital energy is responsible for that. No. Why? How can you negate it? I don't negate. Kathopanishad negates. Na pranena na apanena jivati kaschana martyah itarena tu jivati yasmin etau upashitau. Kathopanishad says. Prana and apana are not responsible for life or sentiency. Both are same thing. Sentiency and life goes together. I say this doesn't have a life or this does not have a sentiency. Same thing. So this, definitely, jivati means life, lives, right? Jiv dhatu means to live. Na pranena na apanena, Yamaraja says. By prana apana, by this, breathing, exhalation and inhalation. Na jivati. This person, martyah, is not living because of this pranapana, etc. Itarena tu jivati. Itarena. By something else is responsible for life. Sentiency. So pranapana is not responsible for sentiency, life. Kutastha also is not responsible for sentiency because it pervades even inert things also, insentient thing also. Then neither of them is responsible. Then what is responsible? Well, this mind is insentient. Just as mirror cannot illumine because it is non-luminous. Reflecting medium cannot illumine anything else. Original light, can't make, same way here, Kutastha also cannot make this body sentient. And mind itself also cannot make the sentiency. Both combine. Then the sentiency arises. And so mind, which is made up of matter, subtle matter, cannot bring a sentiency in the body. And the Kutastha, which is Chaitanyam itself also is not responsible for the sentiency when they both combine together. Well, there, when the reflection arises, that is responsible for the life. Yatra yatra reflecting consciousness, tatra tatra life. This is my proposition. Yatra yatra reflecting consciousness, tatra tatra sentiency. Okay? This is how it is. Yatra yatra reflecting consciousness nasti, tatra tatra sentiency nasti. Okay? So this is how it is. And that's how at the time of a death, well, mind goes away, reflecting medium goes away, therefore reflection also goes away. Then in that case, same body becomes inert. So inert the body is inert, basically, made up of matter. But it is right now sentient, it has a life because of Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa pervades the gross body. Chidabhasa pervades the subtle body. And therefore, Chidabhasa is there with the Karana Sharira also. We have already know that. That's how Jiva is Avyaktam we call also. Anyway, so basically, that is a responsible thing. Sentiency in sentient division is caused by Abhasa. Abhasa is caused by reflecting medium. That's how it is. So it says here, चेतन अचेतन विदा कूटस्थ आत्मकृता भवति, आत्मकृता न भवति किंतु बुद्धिकृता. It is caused by the buddhi. It is caused by this mind. It is caused by this subtle body which is present there where the reflection occurs, and that is how abhasa krita eva avagamyatam. Well, you should understand the sentiency or a life or sentiency in division in the world is not caused by this Kutastha Chaitanyam. Kutastha Chaitanyam is adhishthanam of everything, but that division is caused by Abhasa Krita. So basically it is caused by the reflection. Avagamyata, may you understand this, etc. We'll see that tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.